want you to use private internet access. This video is not sponsored by private internet access, but we do have an affiliate link, and I've been using them for about 6 years. And the main reason I stick with private internet access is, well, number one, the price, but the most important thing is the security I get for that price and also the speed I get for that price. So I've seen a lot of other VPNs over the years have leaks and they say they don't log IP addresses and stuff, and it turns out they do, whereas private internet access has been solid the entire time with no leaks of private data or anything like that. So your ISP and your government, they're not going to find out what stuff you're illicitly your cookie recipes. They're not going to find out any of that stuff. But with this, you connect to one of their servers and then browse the internet anonymously from their server. You can get a VPN for $269 a month, plus you'll get 2 months free with this. You're also going to get a cloud security license for Boxcryptor, and that'll let you encrypt your files. Extra little bonus there. So be sure to click on the link in the top of the description and protect yourself on the internet. That's what I do. If you're on Twitch, the DMCA is out to get you. The RIAA is out to get you. And Twitch is going to do nothing to stop them. So in order to understand the DMCA nonsense that's happening right now on Twitch, we need to understand a little bit more about the world and sort of take a step back and look at society so that we can really understand this. And we're going to get into exactly how the DMCA works, and we're going to talk about some alternatives so that you can put music on your streams without having to worry about copyright strikes and that sort of thing. But first, let's stand back and look at everything. Now, as humans, we like to create. It's natural for us. We like to share. We're happy when we can make something and share it, or when we can find something really cool and then share it with others. That's what creates the culture. Just having a really cool piece of artwork like this wonderful ceramic thing that I bought in Taiwan, just having a wonderful piece of artwork, this is cool and all, but this is not culture until it's shared, and then people start to like it, and then it shares around, and then it becomes a part of culture. And then other people start to create and emulate this, and then we get a whole bunch of knockoffs of this. That's culture. It's how it works. It's human nature. So we can look at a specific example. You've got Oblivion Girl way back on Justin TV.
Whoa! You're the special one that came through that old gateway, aren't you? I bet Skyrim is amazing.
And she really enjoyed playing Oblivion, and Justin TV was mostly just like a service that you could use to stream yourself live. You could just get on there and talk, but a lot of people realized they could take their cameras, turn them around and point them at the screen, and then sit back and play video games, and people would watch you play video games. So the next thing you know, everyone is pointing their cameras at the screen and playing video games. And so Oblivion Girl has got her Xbox, and she's playing all day long, just playing Oblivion, and people are watching, and they're getting into this. And they're creating a nice shared experience, so people will become followers of her, but also they find out about how cool Oblivion is, and they're like, you know what, I want to run around in that world too. So they start to play Oblivion, and then they still come back to the stream and they talk about all the crazy stuff that happened to them in chat, and there you've developed a culture around a game, but it is really good for that game. And a lot of people end up purchasing Oblivion just because they saw Oblivion Girl streaming that game. However, this is illegal. As far as the current copyright law goes, Twitch is illegal. You play games on Twitch, it's illegal. If the game is on Steam, most of those games on Steam have license for you to play on your own. It does not have any sort of licensing that allows you to broadcast that game. In general, games do not allow broadcasting. It's just like taking a movie and playing it back. Everybody can watch it. So this is an illegal activity. But publishers and game developers are smart enough to know that it's really good for their business if they just step back, ignore the legality, allow people to develop a culture around their game, to develop some hype for them, and that essentially helps to get the word out there. The big, thing that everyone keeps talking about now is Among Us, how for a few years it was nothing, and all of a sudden streamers picked it up, and now it's a phenomenon, millions and millions of sales, and the developers went from being like, oh, we're doing all right, to like, holy shit. So gaming, while it is illegal, the game publishers understand, and so they've kind of taken a step back. And Twitch has made their entire business on this really rocky ground of something that is technically illegal. All right, so let's get to the music. So here it is. The DMCA was created in 1998, and this was really made to be a safe haven, not for people, not for just regular individuals and content creators. It was made to be a safe haven for the corporations who are hosting your content or whatever. And what it allows them to do is say like, hey, listen, we cannot possibly know everything you're doing, so we cannot be responsible. And that's what the DMCA is really about. It's about shifting the responsibility from the companies over to you. And I actually agree with that mentality, because someone who has a forum, I cannot possibly stop people from posting Futanari at 3 in the morning while I'm asleep, if I'm not the one online posting it. But anyway, you get the idea. I can't stop everything, and neither can Twitch or Google or YouTube or Twitter or whatever. They can't stop you from posting everything. But what the DMCA does say is like, hey, listen, if we come to you and say, this stuff is infringing, you take it down, right? Now, it's not mandatory. That's something that Twitch wants you to think, but it is not mandatory whatsoever. Twitch could stand up and say, like, listen, this is helping you. This is nonsense. Stop. And they could either decide to fight Twitch, which is Amazon. They could go to court with them and fight, or they could stand back and be like, you know what, I don't know. Or they could start being like, well, we want rights, which is what they usually do. Or we want some money, some consideration. Come on, we want something. So what Twitch does, in order to appease the RIAA and anybody else, and also to make sure that they don't have any legal headaches, is they just put all the blame onto the people who are playing the music. Of course, you know, you did a bad thing. You played some illegal stuff. Ooh, you shared some music with people who may have discovered a new band they love and gone out and bought all their t-shirts and albums, but that doesn't matter. You shared it. You evil digital communist. Sharing is digital communism. So Twitch, what they do, instead of like fighting or anything like that, they just remove it. That's it. It's deleted. Your VOD, it's gone. Your life's work, it's gone. But some of you may have a lot of stuff on there that you want to like take the VODs and cut into really cool things to put on YouTube so people can just consume that content and then go on there and consume your stream and then consume other content, and you get advertising revenue from all that stuff and get sponsors. This video is brought to you by some stuff. I don't know. So why does Twitch do that? And why is the world the way it is? I'm going to go way back and we're going to get a little political here, and let's talk about why the world is the way it is, and we'll use COVID as an example. So the one thing you need to understand about this neoliberal capitalist world is that there's a cushion for the wealthy. There's a buffer that keeps the wealthy from the harsh world, and that's like the plutocrats and the major corporations. And that buffer is comprised of the poorest people in society, the minorities, and the working class, in this case, the content creators and the streamers on the service. You're the buffer for them. Whenever anything goes wrong, you take the blame and you pay the bills. What's happening right now with COVID? You got the richest people getting richer and richer, while the poorest people are getting sicker and sicker, and people are complaining that the system is broken. The system's working exactly how it was designed to work. You're the buffer. Whenever anything goes wrong, they print money all day long and give it straight to the banks and straight to Wall Street to make sure that the stocks don't drop, because the rich people have all the stocks. They want to make sure that they don't miss a flight on their private jet. Can't miss one. Make sure that their lifestyle is completely padded. So that's what's happening also over here with Twitch, is that whenever anything comes to them, it goes straight to you and your stuff is just deleted. That's the easiest thing for them. So you are the point that absorbs the impact. Whenever the RIAA shows up, they don't go to fight. They don't go fight for what's right or whatever. They just say, okay, you're exercising your rights within the law, so bye-bye VODs. But I want you to understand that Twitch is absolutely big enough to go and fight and lobby to get copyright law changed. You know, something I think they might actually do that if, let's just say, all the video game publishers got together and were like, you know what? Twitch is making an awful lot of money. I think we need to get our cut. And legally, they would have every right to do so. I think it's completely stupid if they did that. I think it's the most backwards thinking ever. But if they wanted to go to Twitch and say, listen, you know, we're EA, we're Activision, we're Blizzard, whatever. We want 10% of any revenue generated from games that were streamed by us, or we're going to revoke the rights and start doing DMCA takedown notices anytime anybody streams Overwatch, or anybody streams Valhalla, or whatever new game is out, Watch Dogs Legion. I don't know what's big on Twitch right now. I play most of the indie games, but whenever anybody streams those things, gone. And Twitch would probably start deleting VODs really quickly, or they would come up with a system that says, like, your revenue is going to go down because we're going to share it with EA. So those are one or two things. Or if they're really smart, they'll go to Congress and fight and say, like, listen, the DMCA stuff, 1998, this is a different world now in 2020 and 2021. So we need a new system. So let's take a look at some of Twitch's response to this stuff, because they've just been deleting everyone's VODs and giving people warnings and stuff, and a bunch of my content got warnings. Even a song from the old Super Nintendo game ActRaiser, I got a content warning for ActRaiser for playing a ripped audio file from an SNES video game that's like 30-something years old. I don't even know. Okay, sure. But yeah, it's that aggressive, and now they're getting thousands and thousands of DMCA takedown notices every week, and they're just deleting VODs, and they say, you know, you're frustrating. Oh, they were only going to give you 3 days to take down your VODs and go back through all your stuff all the way back to the history, because now they're, you know, the RIAA is attacking everything, not just the newest stuff. They're attacking all the VODs that are online. They were safe for a while. Now they're no longer safe. The RIAA, they just discovered Twitch, and they're like, y'all heard of this Twitch thing? I don't know how they talk. They're probably from Los Angeles. Have y'all heard of Twitch? Oh my God, they're totally like stealing our stuff, man. That's LA talk. It's, verbatim. Exactly, yes. Their response at first was like, listen, don't play any music. And also they were getting DMCA takedown notices for music and games, and they were like, so whenever you're playing the game, go into your options and turn off the soundtrack. Just mute the audio on the game and play the game without any audio. That was what their solution was at first. Now they're saying they're going to give you a few more days to take down all your stuff, and they've given you all kinds of resources here where you can go and read and learn about copyright. And I read and learned about copyright and realized that the entire operation of what's happening on Twitch is illegal. So, yeah, this has been the response from most indie developers. Do not turn Paratopic's audio off. This is so good. If I catch anyone streaming without the audio, I'll DMCA you myself. But there it is. I mean, when you put it that way, Jessica, maybe I will turn the audio off. That was a good anime. Another response here from the developer of Dusk. How to deal with Twitch copyright issues. Mute in-game music. Play the Dusk soundtrack instead. Little tongue-in-cheek there, but you get the idea. It's just being stupid. And hopefully you won't get. Did Charlene? Did you really get DMCA'd for playing Andrew Hult's music in something? I hope it's not that way. What the hell does tongue-in-cheek mean anyway? Or 1748. Oh wow. The Adventures of Roderick Random. What's up, Roderick Random? So he does it in a mocking way and thrust his tongue into his cheek, and it made the carriage driver so angry that he cursed and swore it aloud the whole journey. So that was making somebody mad. Like, well, it still doesn't make any sense of what tongue-in-cheek means. What am I doing here? Now here's the other thing about the way that this operates on Twitch. They are allowing the RIAA to use software tools that basically go through and just look at every single VOD. And then they send the takedown notices. They probably think they're using Audible Magic or something like that. It just goes through and scans for all this stuff. They send the takedown notice, Twitch removes it, or gives you the option to remove it. You can dispute it, but you're not going to win because it's not really. They're not. How are they going to say fair use? I don't even know. Like, you're not supposed to be playing it. That's the way the law is written. That's just the way it is. It's dumb, but that's the way it's written. Now, the bad thing about this is, let's say that you've actually gone out and licensed some music for your intro song or something like that. Let's say you really like Guns N' Roses. The song "She Used to Love Me," or "I Used to Love Her, But I Had to Kill Her," and you've licensed that, and every time your intro starts, it's "I used to love her," whatever, "but I had to kill her." Okay, you've licensed that. You paid thousands of dollars to Geffen Records and whoever owns the rights now, but it still gets caught in the system. They don't have any way for you to go in and have an exemption. You can't say, "I've got the rights to this," or whatever. It's just going to get removed. So why even bother wasting money on rights when it's just going to slip right through the system? It's completely messed up. Now, I mentioned that most game developers, especially the indie developers, realize that this is great exposure. Why does the music industry not realize that exposure like this is not doing them any harm, and in fact it's doing them a lot of good? It's getting their stuff out there, which is something they spend millions of dollars doing. Marketing. Trying to get their stuff on the radio. They want radio stations to play this music over and over. They pay the radio stations to play some of these songs. That's why you hear the same song 9,000 times, is because they're doing a deal with the radio station, because the more you hear it over and over again, the more you are to be like, oh, I like this band, I should go check it out. Why don't they understand that when it comes to streaming? Why is it? I don't understand. What's the disconnect? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So who are the people behind? Oh, look at these people here. Looks like a fucking Trump rally. Let's take a look. We are music. RIAA. We are music. I bet you are. So the RIAA, they just control almost all the rights for all the major labels and stuff like that. playing mainstream music is going to get your stream taken down. Don't play mainstream music. It'll be good for you. You'll find some new cool stuff like indie music. A lot of the indie music will also get your stuff taken down if it's been created using a process that hooks it into some of these content identification services. So I'll show you how that works right fast. I use a service called CD Baby whenever I'm releasing an album. I've been using them ever since back in the CD days where I was making some god-awful monstrosities and then releasing it as CDs and taking it and selling it around town like an idiot. So CD Baby's been around for a long time. And they kept the name, and now you can release your digital music here, and they syndicate it out to everything from Spotify to stuff you've never even heard of in Russia. Like just every different service, Spotify, Apple, Google Play. It's on Amazon Music and everything else. And I do Bandcamp myself. There's non-exclusive rights involved there. And then down here, there's a syncing option. Now, by default, this is turned on. So if you've made an indie album, and there's several other competing platforms very similar to this one. This one's like one of the most old school, but there's some that are even more intuitive, easier to use, maybe a little cheaper, but I like this one. And when you first opt in, it'll have all this stuff turned on so that when someone uses your music and as background music for a YouTube video, you'll end up getting the ad revenue, and of course, they'll get a piece of it. Because let's face it, the RIAA and a lot of these like agencies and stuff, they don't really do anything. They're just parasites, and they run around being like, hey, we noticed Twitch. There's a stream of money going over here with Twitch. We got to figure out a way to get in front of it. And so they do everything they can to like get in front of the stream of money. Here it comes. So whenever you turn this on, you're going to get a little cut, but CD Baby and whoever else is controlling the rights is going to be, you got to get in front of that stream of money. That's just the way of it. So anyway, I keep YouTube turned off, and I keep Facebook turned on, plus, like using it in commercials and film and stuff like that. If someone were to use one of our songs or one of my songs in a commercial, yeah, I want to get paid for that. For using it for some shit like that. And if it's on Facebook, I just assume that someone's stolen it for nefarious purposes because Facebook is nothing but a bunch of Karens and idiots. So yeah, I'm collecting it on Facebook. So don't use my music on Facebook. You can use it on YouTube. You can use it on Twitch. It's not going to get flagged. No problem. And you can use it on Library, whatever else you want to use it on. So I've got several albums, and you're welcome to use any of them. Just whatever. If you can't afford it, message me and I'll send you a copy of it. Like seriously, if you're that hard up you can't afford it, absolutely. Whoa, look out, stop that. Let's say you just hate my music, that's fine. There's lots of other music out there. You can check with some of the artists on Bandcamp and see if you can use their music. It's kind of a hassle to have to do that because you're streaming and you've got a lot of stuff to play in the background. One of the person who responded to this comment chain I had going as Zier Baker, and I clicked on this, and it's actually really good Doom music, as in like music that sounds like it's from Doom. Some of it's remixes and stuff, but done on a guitar, and it's really nice. So I recommend grabbing this and checking it out. Highly recommend it, actually. So, and then I looked at some other services where you can like go and stream music. There's something called Monster Cat where you can go and get music, I guess. You can find like artists that you can freely stream. I didn't find anything I liked, but if you like more mainstream stuff or softer, poppier stuff, maybe you'll find something here. Like I just didn't find a lot of metal or chiptune stuff that I like. So it just seems like when you move away, then Pretzel's another option. You can stream this stuff, no problem. Just for me, again, I couldn't find anything I like. If you're just looking for like simple background music that has a more of a mainstream sound, maybe you'll find something more of a like chill indie vibe. Maybe you'll find something. And there's something called Soundtrack from Twitch, and I want to thank Shibuka, who I was going back and forth with over here on Twitter, and he gave me some ideas because the thing about Soundtrack is it's two different things. First off, it's an open broadcaster plugin that gives you an extra audio channel. When you're streaming that, your music goes to that audio channel, and then your voice goes to your regular audio channel. So in your VOD, it just removes that audio channel, so all you have is your voice, so you're not going to get it copyright stricken or anything like that. And then they have a separate app that's a Windows app or a phone app or whatever that you can download, and it has several different highly curated audio channels. It kind of reminds me of like Pandora or something. I found some okay metal. They even had like some stuff that was like almost black metal, like very modern, clean sounding black metal, but they did have some heavy stuff on there, and a pretty good classical channel. But let's say you really are like me and you want full control of your music. You want to be able to play your old soundtracks from late 80s video games or whatever you want. heavy metal that's really obscure that you can't find on any of these streaming services, including Spotify, well, you're going to have to do it yourself. And that's where you're going to need to get virtual audio cable, then use the soundtrack plugin to send your audio to different places. Like I said, that could be a totally separate video, but I want to thank Shibuka for giving me that idea, because that's something I'll probably try to do. Just have no music in the VODs, but you'll have my voice. So really, I mean, I think we all know that it's absolutely ridiculous. The copyright system in the modern age is completely ridiculous. You need to be allowed to play whatever on your stream. If you can play games on your stream, and the gaming industry has realized that that's a very good thing, why has the audio industry been so old and stupid? They need to understand that it's really, really good. We're taking care of discovery for you. So I don't know what the problem is, but my solution is to completely avoid mainstream crap and start playing some indie stuff. I mean, I think that's going to be really good for indie artists. And if you're an indie artist and you have some music, please post it in the comments so we can see it. And I'm kind of thinking about, I've looked around for different services and websites that have like lists of music that you can play on stream, or just have artists that can go and submit music where you can play it on stream, and I couldn't find anything that was very good. I found some of these highly curated websites and some things that cost like $5 a month and stuff like that, but it all looked like corporations trying to solve problems and only doing it in a half-assed kind of way with some music that's like too curated for my own taste. So I'm tempted to make a database and let everyone submit music to it that they can play on stream, but I don't know if that's something I'll do or not. We'll see. Anyway, as it stands now, just be very careful and make sure that you're playing music on your stream that is indie, or from someone that you know and someone that said that it's cool that you play the music. I'm going to keep living dangerously and playing obscure heavy metal from, you know, strange countries in Europe that no one's ever heard of, and also my own music, and then old video game music, and we'll just see how that works. Let me know if you want to have a separate video, or if you want to see a separate video on how to set up virtual audio cable and then stream to a separate channel that gets removed when your VOD goes onto Twitch. We could probably get that done. Yes. While you're on the internet, please head over to epicpants.com. Is this shirt out of stock? I'll put this shirt back in stock because it's important right now. Got a lot of idiots recommending Apple products. Can't have that. Get one of these. Mouse pads, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. epicpants.com. I'll see you later.